3 years ago.
I've come on a lot since then, and so has Derek, so, it's going to be a great fight. It was a great fight last time, good 12 rounds of action, but in the back of his mind, he's already lost to me.
And Dan Evans is through to the qualifying round of the Sony Open in Miami. The British number 2 beat the world number 98, Tim Smyczek, 6-4, 6-2. Evans now faces a clash with Jimmy Wang.
On DAB Digital Radio, Digital TV, downloads and online.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live. Up all night.
With Rod Sharp.
Now, Wyn Scott's discussion of the news from archaeology this week begins with a find relating to one of our earliest ancestors.
This is a creature that has been nicknamed Littlefoot purely because he or she had little feet, tiny foot bones. Now, this is... And this particular skeleton, the most complete skeleton of an Australopithecine ever found. Now, an Australopithecine, I should explain. Australa means southern, and Pithecine or Pithecus means ape. So southern ape. And these are thought to be the ancestors to our genus, Homo. And they're found, you've probably heard of Lucy, who was found in Ethiopia many years ago. This particular skeleton of an Australopithecine was found in the Sterkfontein caves in South Africa near Johannesburg. And back in the 1990s, a paleoanthropologist, in other words, someone who studies evolution, human evolution, Ron Clark, who's at the University of Witwatersrand in Johannesburg, was rummaging through boxes of animal bones that had been excavated at those Sterkfontein caves. And various Australopithecines had been found in these caves. And he was quite surprised to find 4 small foot bones in this box of bones, which had clearly belonged to an Australopithecine. So he decided to go back and dig in there to see if he could find the rest of the skeleton. And in 1997, the team of archaeologists actually found it embedded in rock. Ever since then, there's been a terrific controversy about how old this skeleton is. Is it older than humans? Does it go back before 2.5 million years ago? Or is it perhaps later, and in which case it wouldn't be a direct ancestor of our own? They dated at the time. They actually found a sort of a layer of stone that had formed over the skeleton. Must date to about 2.2 million years. So not really as old. But Ron Clark was convinced that it must be a lot older when he looked at the geology of the cave. They found that, what they've just announced at press conferences in Paris and Johannesburg, they've announced their results. This is Ron Clark and Laurent Broussel, who's from the University of Toulouse. They've said that the flowstone that formed over the body has come in later. Now, normally, in layers that build up in a cave, you expect the oldest to be at the bottom. Well, what seems to have happened is that a gap has formed in the skeleton and around the skeleton under the rock. And this flowstone, rather like stalagmites and stalactites, has actually flowed inside and given a later date for the area around the skeleton. But above it are older rocks. And these are the rocks that fell on this poor creature when he or she fell through a hole in the cave roof. So, what do we learn from this? Well, it looks like the creature fell through the cave roof, rocks fell on top of him or her, and then later on, as a gap emerged underneath between the skeleton and the rock, this later rock started to flow inside and solidify. And that sort of confused all the dating.